Okay. I think we're good. I really keep wanting to start a whole stream like that just to see what anyone who doesn't know me would think of me. Like, say really intelligent shit, but full Valley Girl. I just feel like it would be a ride. Maybe Banjo. You want to come say hi, Banjo? We say hi? You say hello? Banjo, you speak. Oh, you've got to speak. You speak. You speak. Useless. You can't even say hi. I'm going to take him back. I'm going to return him. EBL Jersey. I wish it would get out of my head. I really wish it would get out of my head. Because it's not even on Spotify. You know what I mean? That's maybe history. Yeah, so it's not like I can put it on my playlist and get it out of my head. It's just there forever at this point. BBL Jersey. BBL Jersey. Stream's current bitrate is lower than the recommended bitrate. I disagree. I think you're wrong. I think the bitrate is fine. My bitrate's 6,000, you punk. BBL Jersey. BBL Jersey. God damn it. So stupid. Hello, everyone. Hello. Yeah, Kendrick definitely beat Drake. I honestly think anyone who disagrees with that it's just you just got to be a hardcore Drake fan. There's no other way you can think that. I mean, he's like one of the best lyricists ever, not just in rap. Like, how you going? You can't play with K-Dot. It's silly. Don't be silly. Don't be silly. My stream title game is Perfection. Thank you. I steal all of my titles from XQC directly. I literally just go and I check whatever his previous title was, and then I copy paste it and change it to be relevant because I think it's funny. So, everybody, in case you missed it today, we had more games industry layoffs. You just go pull them from IGN or something. Maybe Reddit. Let's do Reddit. I'm a frequent... Oh my gosh, my hair looks so messy. Who cares? I'm a frequent enjoyer of our games. BBL Tracy. Thank you, Tom Creo. Yeah, by the way, everybody, we still have a Bioshock 10th Anniversary Collector's Edition to give away. Actually, several of them. And fun fact, they're going on eBay for like $3,000. Huge thank you to 2K for sending me some to give away. So, in case you missed it, BBL Disney. What's in it? It's got a Big Daddy, and I think a copy of the game. But yeah, we're only 40 subs away. We can do that this stream, surely. Surely we can. We get a New Vegas remake at this point. My guy. That's, you know, one step at a time, okay? I don't think that's really the vibe today. Where did I go? Oh no. Best BBL in history. Whoa, thank you so much. Cosmonaut. Oh, the 5 gifted subs. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. So, you guys probably can't read this very well. Also, I think we like the alerts, right? I've only had them twice. Does it make a big difference to you, chat? I think I was asking that yesterday. But you can now see if someone subscribes or follows. It seems cool, right? We like it? Or is it too much? Did you know Ninja Theory's co-founder left last month? I did not know that. You fear for Ninja Theory. What a great studio. What an incredible studio. That would make me very sad. I wouldn't be surprised if there is a lot riding on Hellblade, especially considering that it's being positioned as like a flagpole title for them. So, in case you missed the news this morning, I think I've said this, but I usually don't check Twitter until the afternoon. Like, I don't go on the internet until like around 3 p.m. or so. So I found out when I tweeted about it, which was after we recorded Play, Watch, Listen today. 3:30 p.m. was when I found out. And just incredible sadness. Just incredible sadness. As it has been every way that this has happened, but I think in part this one sucks because I really thought we were through it. It's May now. I thought that the layoffs were coming to an end, and I was feeling hopeful, and it was feeling a little bit better. And also because of these studios. Now, it's not like any of the other studios that have been shut down wasn't a huge bummer, of course. Every loss is massive. Every layoff is massive, even if there aren't studio closures. But this one gets me because how do you have such incredibly talented people making such good stuff and they're still on the chopping block? Like, it feels like nobody is safe. And if these teams making these creative things, like Tango just made Hi-Fi Rush, which I think was the most underrated game of last year. Absolutely rules. Ghostwire Tokyo, really weird game for them. Like, really weird, unique stuff that still was relatively appreciated. Thank you, Kabo. And it's just really like, wow, what fucking position is the industry in? So yeah, if you don't know Arcane Austin, they did make Redfall, which obviously was a huge failure. That game gave me an uneven gamer score, so I will never touch it again. As much as I had fun playing it with the Redfall crew. And it's an interesting one because the previews were... Everyone was like middling to positive. The game previewed okay. I don't think they would have expected this game to go as badly as it did. But they also made Prey. 2016? Prey, I think? 2016? And that game fucking rules. That game is really, really, really good. If you haven't played Prey, I would play it just like... Even if you aren't interested in it as a whole, just play the opening. Just play the very beginning of that game. It's the first Prey and the remake of Prey. Both of them have like two of the best openings in any video game. Great team of talented people. Tango, obviously, Shinji left last year, I think, which, has to have a bearing. But that's the team known for making Hi-Fi Rush, which clearly was not a huge commercial success. I mean, it's weird though, because they said that it was, and then it re-released on Sony, and it's like, was the choice to publish on other platforms, was that re-released on Sony? I said that in such a weird way. Sorry, I guess I'm still like half out of it. Was that, like, did they know they were going to shut down the studio when they did that? It's so hard to say, and it's just such a good game. I love the Evil Within series, the second one. A lot of fun with that game. Which I still haven't finished, actually, but maybe I'm part of the problem. But I played both of them. And it's also like, to lose that, I feel like they must have been probably Xbox's like last holdout in Japan. And I don't know, it really sucks because it's like, it feels like nobody's safe. Like, if these studios making these big things aren't safe, who is safe? It's really... really tough. Really sad. So yeah, the other one is Alpha Dog Games, who I was not familiar with. I guess they were making a mobile game called Mighty Doom, and Roundhouse Studios is going to be absorbed by the Elder Scrolls Online team. They did say that some of these people from some of these different studios would be like worked into other studios, like moved into other positions across Bethesda, which is great. I mean, Bethesda's a huge company. There are, of course, jobs for them. Arcane Lion is fine. They have not been touched. They're working on Blade. But even that now is like, again, is anybody safe? It's just, I really thought that we were through the worst of it. And sorry, if you see me picking things off my face, I still have glue from where I had to wear a bald cap to get my face covered in a cast. There's like still just bits of glue on the side of my head. So this is the Arcane Studios tweet that said, today it was announced that Arcane Austin will close development will not continue on Redfall, which I wonder how that's going to work too, because I think the pre-orders promised content. I believe the pre-orders promised content that they just haven't come out with. So I wonder how that's going to work. Is any job safe in video games? I think you're relatively safe at Nintendo. And I would think you are relatively safe if you're an exec. Any creative jobs? No, nobody's safe. No. Thank you, my mighty Bush. Been real up and down video games this year. Mostly down. Maybe like a $40 around that refund. Oh yeah, I guess Redfall could just refund the amount that people paid extra for the pre-order. People won't want to join the industry now. I think it's been that way for a while. I would not encourage people right now to join the games industry. And it's really tough because I know I've spoken about this a million times at this point. For every person that we lose, like we're losing people are getting laid off. I have so many personal friends at this point who don't have jobs across the whole industry. People from Xbox, people from Sony, like across the board, who haven't found work even though they got laid off months ago, who we just every set of layoffs we lose so much experience. We lose incredibly talented people who had the ability to make games better. And I think I'll probably make a video about this to go up maybe tomorrow if I can find the time to do it. I haven't been streaming or uploading much because my PC died, so everything's running off a laptop now. But it works at least, right? But I think the reality hasn't hit gamers yet, is the truth. I think that it's hit the industry. Gamers haven't realized what's happened to them just yet. Thank you, Luigi Weapons. It is really sad. I feel really fucking sad. My biggest emotion today is just absolute sadness. To lose such incredible studios. It's just fucking sad. Just make good games. Yeah, it doesn't work that way. The industry doesn't care about good games. The industry cares about profit. So it's actually not even about making good games. Hi-Fi Rush is a fucking good game. Prey is a fucking good game. Industry doesn't care. The industry cares about profit. So it's more about making live service games or having more microtransactions or having the ability to have more microtransactions. It's not about good. If anyone who's saying that, I always think it's how sweet for you to think that way. Thank you so much, CSK Mobile, for the gifted subs. How did you get that little love heart emoji? I've never seen that before. That's cool. And Eon of Gods and Goober to Shag Nasty. Yeah, this whole just make a good game, bro. If you guys weren't making shit games, you have no understanding of how business works, because the quality of the thing does not matter, even in the slightest. No one's job is being saved by a bunch of gamers thinking a game is good. A bunch of gamers thinking a game is good hasn't sold games. It's about profitability. That's it. Like that. Just make good games. Yeah, nice. If only. A lot of fucking good games out there that nobody has even heard about. Yeah, agreed. It's short-term profit, not long-term profit. It's just... But the thing that I'm saying about, like, I don't think this has hit gamers yet. I think the industry is currently very sad and hurting. You know, when I see this news, it, like, almost makes me want to cry. Like, this is the industry that I love, that I've dedicated my whole life to working in. If I'm this sad, I can't even imagine how the people who fucking got laid off today feel. Like, it just sucks. Like, it's like, this is the dream. We're here, we did it, and this is the state of it. And I know everyone who works in games feels that way, because you wouldn't be in game dev unless you really, 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 really wanted to be. There's so many other things you could do that would make more money and would be more stable. It's crushing. But the industry's kind of dealt with, like, that feeling, and is still dealing with that feeling. Obviously, nobody's safe. We all feel that way. The internal motto in the industry is survive till 25. That's what everyone keeps saying. Gamers haven't figured out what's going to happen yet, though, because I keep seeing just make good games, or why are you crying over layoffs? Like, it's stupid fucking takes. You're about to see a lot of stuff you don't like. I think that there are going to be huge budget cuts to games. The layoffs are not the only expense. They are going to cut budgets on games. Even your AAA games, I think, are going to have budget cuts. That means that for every game you see going forward, you're going to get things that are a lot cheaper. You aren't going to have the same caliber of games from a lot of facets of the games industry that you expect. And all of those tweets that come across, like people who do well, this looks like a last gen game. Yeah, expect every game to look like that. Expect that from top to bottom. The money's gone. Everything, everything is going to be less a budget, so things are going to be worse quality. I definitely think that tide is coming. And gamers are going to be real upset about that when that happens, especially the people who are like, fuck you, I don't care if you lose your job. It's coming for you too. The second part is more live service games. Obviously, we already knew about that, but I think it's confusing a lot of people. They don't understand like quite how dire that is. So when WB said that they were planning to shift to entirely live service, even though for all intents and purposes the Suicide Squad was a failure, it's because AAA games, like with the budgets they're at, have become such a risk. It is so expensive and takes so long to make that you are safer to put out a live service game and have the potential for it to turn into a Helldivers and have legs, no matter the quality. Like, it is a safer bet to say, well, at least there would be continuous content. There would be whales who would help keep us afloat. At least there is the opportunity for that, than to risk a AAA game failing again. I do not think that the AAA gaming space is in a good place. And like I said, I think it's going to hit gamers pretty soon. And when I think about the games that I'm enjoying, I mean, look, I'm loving Dragon's Dogma 2 still. I'm still having a really good time playing Dragon's Dogma 2. I've put 3 days into that game so far, and I'm really enjoying it. But, yeah, your AAA and your indie are probably where creativity always has shone, but is going to continue to shine, I think. They're less risky. The problem with those is we just have less studios go around now. Less studios top to bottom. Because publishers aren't funding those games either because they're seen as risks. So having 28 billion in profit isn't enough to take some risks these days. Apparently not. Though the 28 billion people keep throwing around for Microsoft, isn't that for Microsoft specifically, not Xbox? I don't actually know the answer to that. But yeah, it's not. Again, I really felt like things were moving in a positive direction and that the layoffs were going to end, and did not see this coming, and it's just really fucking sad. And I just feel very sad for all of these people and for all of the people who want to work in the games industry. With the number of layoffs happening, is the number of those employed going below pre-COVID numbers? That's really hard to say because we don't have that data really. Xbox had revenue increase of 62%, 61% of that was Activision Blizzard. I would buy that. I mean, you say Activision Blizzard, don't rule out King. Shouldn't Suicide Squad and Redfall scare publishers away from live service at all costs? You'd hope so. But the answer to that is no. It will not. Because the outlier hits that exist are so appealing and so much more appealing than taking the exact same risk. So again, this isn't about quality. It's about money. It's not about quality. You could say, well, Redfall and Suicide Squad didn't do well, so why would they want to make those games? It doesn't. The alternative is to make a really fucking good game, single player, that still nobody hears of. You can say make a good game all you want, but there's no guarantee people will play it. So it's like you put the same amount of money into one or the other. You kind of have to pick the one that has more earning potential. And that could blow up if it's just the right, layout of blocks. Because I really don't think the Hi-Fi Rush is the perfect example. They made Hi-Fi Rush. That game is very high quality. It was very well received. It is a very, very, very good game. It wasn't enough. It is easier for them to take that risk on a live service game than it is for them to take that risk on a AA, AAA game that isn't going to do anything. It sucks. It really sucks. I wish. So is Game Pass not that creative medium for Xbox first-party devs to explore like what Obsidian did? I don't know. Look, I don't know. Look, I love Pentiment. Pentiment fucking rules. Glad to have that game. I do. If we look, I don't know the numbers for, because I'm not a journalist, right? So like, I don't know the numbers for like how things like PS Plus or Game Pass actually impact sales. And I've heard so many conflicting things from different devs, even people I know personally, people who said Game Pass made my studio. Like we had so much success on Game Pass for a game that otherwise never would have been played that now we can make another game. Like crazy. I mean, Rocket League came out of PlayStation Plus. But then I think there have been small sentiments or similar sentiments in the negative of that. I really don't know the data. But if we compare it to TV, the TV realm is also very bleak right now in a really, really similar way. The world that TV is in is they used to make very high quality TV shows because they were trying to recruit people to sign up to their streaming services, right? Like Apple had some bangers. Now there is a lot less need while people are already paying the subscription, which is like the get your door in, wow them with something cool so they watch it. And most people forget about subscriptions. That's why the subscription model works. People forget about it. They don't use any of it. I actually think gamers are probably outliers with that. So I wonder how much data is being shared with the entertainment industry because like, you bet your ass I use Game Pass. Like I use those services. I get my free games. But the TV industry, like, they no longer really need to make quality TV shows. Not to the extent that they were. So a lot of writers are having trouble pitching things that are new IP, that are, again, risks. New IP is effectively just a risk. Anything that sounds expensive. Fallout, obviously a huge success. Huge IP. So it's just things that are pre-existing for Shogun and X-Men 97 are also very good examples of existing IPs. But TV writers are having trouble pitching is my point. And it's kind of the same for games. It's like, it's too much of a risk now. They don't need to wow us anymore. I don't know what that, like how that actually does translate to video games, but it's a scary space in creative in general. Do I notice any writers / friends that transferred from movie to video games at all? Oh yeah, I know plenty of people who've done that. And the other way around. Matt Booty's email suggests they're focusing on big titles. Okay, so I haven't read what Matt Booty said. This is what he said. This here? Yeah, literally looking at it right now, but I haven't read it. That's my bad. Oh, no, wrong button. And it's also like, I don't even need to mention this because it's so fucking stupid, but let me just call these people out. Let me just call them out, okay? I keep getting. So if this is what I tweeted today. Just unbelievably sad. If we're shutting studios making incredible games like Hi-Fi Rush, Prey, and The Evil Within, then what hope there is there for anyone, and what the fuck are we doing? Which is like directed at the industry, right? I'm saying this to like my colleagues. I'm not saying this to like the random people who follow me on Twitter for some reason. There will always be stupid console war shit in here. You need to pipe down as a Sony PlayStation employee, which I'm not, by the way. I'm not a Sony employee. The people you work for been firing and dissolving companies en masse as well. I never said they didn't. The first video I made about layoffs was about Bungie. Nobody gives a shit. It's about people. I've spoken up for every single layoff across the board. No one fucking cares. Like, even the people replying to this dude, I'm like, and I have like people, they're in the quote tweets probably. And they're actually mostly fine. I would love to see a union. I always get scared to look at my own quote tweets. Well, there you go. Shall we list the studios that have shuttered under the big corporate entity you work for? Go ahead. Obviously, I feel negatively about all of this. So does everybody else. Like, it's so fucking dumb. Because no one gives a shit about your console wars. People that you're friends with are losing their jobs. Like, who fucking cares? It's just so stupid. Again, the first video I made was was about Bungie. That like the first layoff video I made was about that. It's about that same thing. It's just so stupid. Console Wars is indeed BS. Like that's why I'm like, don't even respond to that. It's so fucking dumb. Like, yeah. You forgot the part where they shuttered studios 2 weeks after posting record profit of $22 billion for a single quarter. God. It's just so sad. But if you get the blue blocker extension, Drew, then you'd block me. Because Twitter gifted me verification. And you're not allowed to get rid of it. Hello, Jeff. Tango Gameworks is baffling. For over 20 years, Xbox have talked about expanding their presence in Japan. At TGS in September, Phil Spencer used Hi-Fi Rush as an example and spoke about how we can look forward to more Japanese titles in the future. What a great start. Well, those games didn't sell, so them being incredible, though I personally liked, is kind of subjective. It's not the point, though. Again, this is a thing that I keep trying to remember that keeps driving me nuts is, that I keep trying to reinforce that I'm just talking over myself here, but the quality of the games is actually irrelevant. You can make a very, very, very good game that that didn't have the marketing budget and thus no one's heard of it. Like it doesn't mean anything. It sucks so bad. Yeah, so I'm unclear on how well Hi-Fi Rush did or did not sell. I'm not sure about that. Let's dig into it because again, I just really saw this like at the end of my workday and so let me read. This is the email from Matt Booty, head of Xbox Game Studios. And yeah, I mean, I want to say this whenever talking about Xbox or Sony specifically. I did put the legal note in my description here. I am not a Sony employee. I am contracted long term. It's been that way the whole time. It's my choice. But I do not actually work for Sony. In any case, today I'm sharing changes we are making to our Bethesda and ZeniMax teams. These changes are grounded in prioritizing high-impact titles and further investing in Bethesda's portfolio of blockbuster games and beloved worlds, which you have nurtured for over many decades. This just means IP. That's what that means, right? It means IP. It means we care about IP. To double down on these franchises and invest to build new ones requires us to look across the business to identify the opportunities that are best positioned for success. Fallout. This reprioritization of titles and resources means a few teams will be realigned to others and that some of our colleagues will be leaving us. I hate that phrasing. Some of our colleagues will be leaving us for people you're firing? Leaving us? Really? I get that, like, this stuff is, like, I don't know if I can, whatever. It's not, I was going to, like, play a devil's advocate and defend the way that he had to phrase that, but I'm tired. Here are the changes going into effect. Arcane Austin, the studio will close with some members of the team joining other studios to work on projects at Bethesda. Arcane Austin has had a history of making impactful and innovative games, and it is a pedigree that everyone should be proud of. This kills me. Oh, man. I hate that so much. It's like you in the email where you're telling everybody that these people got laid off, you're saying you should be really proud of yourself. It's fine. It's fine. Redfall's previous update will be its last as we end all development on the game. I mean, that makes sense. Everyone saw that coming. The game and its servers will remain online for players to enjoy, and we will make good offers to players who purchase the Hero DLC. Okay, so there you go. I was asking that before, so. Alpha Dog Studios. This studio will close. We appreciate the team's creativity in bringing Doom to new players. Mighty Doom will... I don't know what Mighty Doom is. I should look that up. I love Doom. Will be sunset on August 7th, and we will be turning off the ability for players to make any purchases in the game. Tango Gameworks will also close. We are thankful for their contributions to Bethesda and players around the world. Hi-Fi Rush will continue to be available to players on the platforms it is today. Roundhouse Games. The team at Roundhouse Games will be joining ZeniMax Online Studios. Roundhouse has played a key role in many of our recent game launches, and bringing them into ZOS to work on the Elder Scrolls Online will mean we can do even more to grow the world that millions of players call home. With this consolidation of our Bethesda Studios teams so that we can invest more deeply in our portfolios of games and new IP, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Don't lie. No, it's not about that at all. A small number of roles across select Bethesda publishing and corporate teams will also be eliminated. Okay, so in this case, not that this makes me happy, they are also getting rid of some of the execs. Not technically execs, but you know what I mean? The people who aren't in the creative positions, the money people. Those whose roles will be impacted will be notified today, and we ask that you please treat your departing colleagues with respect and compassion. We will provide our full support to those who are impacted in today's notifications and through their transition, including severance benefits informed by local laws. These changes are not a reflection of the creativity and skill of the talented individuals. We know. I hate that. I hate that. I one time had a dude like do a bunch of awful shit to a bunch of people. And then when I spoke to him about it, he was like, I just want you to know it's not your fault. And I was like, I know? What the fuck? They know it's not their fucking fault or a reflection of their creativity and skill. No, you don't need to say that. I acknowledge that these changes are also disruptive to the various support teams across ZeniMax and Bethesda that bring our games to market. We are making these tough decisions to create capacity to increase investment in other parts of our portfolio and focus on our priority games. I do wonder what the new IP other parts of our portfolio is in this kind of context. That is interesting. What was the question that you're having an argument about? Nano X, what was the question? I work at Santa Monica, but I'm not a Sony employee. I don't work for Sony. To give everyone context, what did he say? He said, don't you work for Santa Monica? Even that, technically, no. I'm contracted by them. So I do work for them, but I'm not an employee. I'm not an employee of Santa Monica Studio. So no, I'm contracted to work there, if that makes sense. So I'm not a Sony employee. I don't have to adhere to the things that Sony employees do. I have written on or worked on things that are Xbox exclusive as well. Again, it's by choice. It's my choice. I'm choosing to do this. Santa Monica is owned by Sony. I'm the one that's separate. Okay? I'm separate. Thank you, Dirty Dan Magnum. I'm just an elaborate contractor. Contractor equals employee. It's basically the same thing. The law would strongly disagree with you there. But even then, I'm actually not a contractor. I'm a vendor, which is even more removed. Oh gosh, I hope you're okay, Dirty Dan Magnum. Okay. Bethesda remains one of the key pillars of Xbox with a strong portfolio of amazing games and thriving communities. As we look to the future, there is an impressive lineup of games on the horizon. In 2024 alone, we have Starfield, Shattered Space, Fallout 76, Skyline Valley, which I'm actually looking forward to these days, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and The Elder Scrolls Online's Golden Road. As we align our plans and resources to best set ourselves up for success in this complex and changing industry, our teams across Arcane Leon, Bethesda Game Studios, id Software, Machine Games, ZeniMax Online Studios, and Bethesda Publishing and corporate teams will be well positioned. Brother. I get that you have to say those things. It's just something about reading it that's so awful. Explore new game concepts and expand on our existing franchises. This is so sad. I just... Because what gets me about this kind of tweet, Tango Gameworks, the English account tweeting this. Today it was announced that Tango Gameworks will close. Thank you to everyone that explored the worlds we created. Hi-Fi Rush, along with Tango's previous titles, remain available and playable everywhere they are today. This is probably tweeted by a social media person who just today found out they lost their jobs, and that was probably the language they were told to use. And they probably had to just do that after just being told that they were being laid off. It's just so sad. It really fucking sucks. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Like, I wish I had something uplifting to say. Again, my biggest thing that I have to say is shit's gonna get worse. I think gamers are gonna see how this catches up to them. Arrow only go up is the problem. Capitalism gonna capitalism. It will never stop being hungry. We still have a lot of very good video games, and I will still argue that I made a video about fake gamers. I will still argue vehemently that anyone who says all the games suck is not a real gamer. I'm willing to gatekeep on you bitches. There are so many good games. And the problem is that quality does not matter, and it's so naive that you would think that it does. In a series of tweets, Arcane Leon chief Dinga Bakabar hit out at the cuts, calling them absolutely terrible. To any executive reading this, friendly reminder that video games are an entertainment/cultural industry, and your business as a corporation is to take care of your artists, entertainers, and to help them create value for you. I wish that were true. I really like Dinga. I think he's awesome. I wish that were true. Like, can you imagine the state of the industry if that were the case? Everything would be so much better. Thank you, Gamer Composer. Don't throw us into gold fever gambits. Don't use us as strawmen for miscalculation/blind spots. Don't make our work environments Darwinist jungles. You say we make you proud when we make a good game. Make us proud when times are tough. We know you can. We've seen it before. And that is a sentiment that I really strongly agree with, that the CEO of Larian said, which is like, stop acting like you have to do this. Nobody's fucking making you do this. You don't have to do any. You're 100% choosing to do this. You don't have to be greedy. We know you don't have to be. For now, great teams are sunsetting before our eyes again, and it's a fucking gut stab. Leon is safe, but please be tactful and discerning about all this, and respect affected folks' voice and leave it room to be heard. It's their story to tell, their feelings to express. Inside baseball, but if I read immersive sim curse from the community, especially from a fellow dev, I swear to God, yeah. Please, let's talk about the real challenges instead of rehashing irrational anxieties of the past. Even more inside baseball, but with a very, very wide range, as a wise and sorely missed man said, please stop. He right. He basically just lost half his team. We know Arcane's really collaborative. The immersive sim curse is basically that immersive sims don't sell, which is like a separate, interesting one. It's maybe not even a conversation worth having. That I was going to say, I think like when gamers talk about the things that they want to see in games, they want immersive sims real bad. Any game plus more immersive sim elements, that is what the people want. But yeah, they have a lot of trouble being supported. The Feel the Burn official Xbox controller announcement. No, I have not seen that. Feel the Burn Xbox controller. The change comes hours after Microsoft closed the studios, so Xbox removed Feel the Burn tagline from new controller amid heavy criticism. I mean, that's just bad timing. Like, that's not intentional. They didn't do that on purpose. It's just an Xbox controller that looks like fire and a tagline that was probably approved months ago. This is definitely not intentional. It's just really, really unfortunate. Not ideal. Not ideal. But it sounds like they took it down. Woof. Yikes. Big yike from me. Yeah, they're, I mean, such separate departments though, right? Oh yeah, definitely nobody would have known. Nobody would have known. It's just that would have come out of the blue for sure. It's real tough. What was the other thing? There was some EA news today as well. Battlefield news? Which means I get to do my Andrew Ryan voice, which everybody loves. Here we go. Thank you. Amy Plays. Heartbreaking news about all the shutdowns. Tango made them bank with Hi-Fi Rush. Yes, sorry. I wanted to check the Hi-Fi Rush stats first too. Sales? Like, I love that game. It's super fucking fun. So this says we had at least 2 million players from... That was a year ago. Thank you, Golden Boy. 19 more subs until we do the giveaway, everybody. Where's the high IQ take? Ask XQC. I can only find things saying that Xbox reportedly isn't happy with Hi-Fi Rush's sales. I really don't know how this did or did not do. Get out of here. Fuck off. Xbox reportedly isn't very happy with Hi-Fi Rush's sales numbers. Oh, hang on. Oh, yeah, so I did see this. Aaron Greenberg. Okay, let's read the original article first. Xbox reportedly isn't very happy with Hi-Fi Rush's sales numbers, with one insider claiming that it didn't make the money that it needed to make. Well, thank you, Ganeno, for the 5 gifted subs. Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate you. Just a few months ago, Xbox kicked this year off right by surprising everyone with the shadow drop of the kind of colorful single-player game that everyone says they want more of, Hi-Fi Rush. Despite the massive buzz, incredibly positive reviews, confirmation of over 2 million players, and a strong community already building around it, that apparently wasn't enough, as Xbox seemingly isn't impressed with Hi-Fi Rush's sales. That's according to Gaming Insider and GameSpeak reporter Jeff Grubb, who spoke about the matter on the most recent episode of his podcast, Game Mess Decides. At one point, co-host Mike Minotti mentions... Thank you, not the Bobby. Yeah, we are only 13 subs away. Thank you, everybody. I'm fine. So this wasn't a thing that Xbox said directly. This was a thing that was said to Grubb. Not that I don't trust Jeff Grubb, but this is not a thing that they officially said, which, you know, sometimes people internally can even be confused about stuff, right? Based on what I heard, it straight up didn't make the money it needed to make. It got good reviews. The buzz was good. So where do you put the blame for something like that? Is it the price? Was it the shadow drop? Could it have sold more? Is it Game Pass? Something I'd love to ask Xbox about. Okay. Thank you, Vates. So then, yeah, I did see this tweet today. Xbox Game Marketing Vice President Aaron Greenberg has addressed the reports that Microsoft is unhappy with Hi-Fi Rush sales, stating that it was a breakout hit for us and our players in all key measurements and expectations. We couldn't be happier with what the team at Tango Gameworks delivered with this surprise release. That's a little confusing. Don't know what to make of that in either direction. Could go either way, because I really like Aaron. But it could also literally be his job to say that. I don't know. And Jeff does great work, but he could also have been misinformed. I just have no idea. I'm sure this is not going down super well today. Oh my God, Carl. Carl Jacobs. Carl. Jesus. So this is Aaron's full tweet. Hi-Fi Rush was a breakout. So hang on. Jez said, what exactly determines success for an Xbox game these days? Hi-Fi Rush. If as far as I know. Yes. Okay, got it. Has no physical version, no marketing, no multiplayer. If Xbox is pressuring ZeniMax to deliver sales of a game, well, maybe it shouldn't put so much emphasis on Game Pass. Aaron said, Hi-Fi Rush was a breakout hit for us and our players in all key measurements and expectations. We couldn't be happy with what the team Tango Gameworks delivered with a surprise release. And then Carl said, glad to hear it met and exceeded expectations. Excited to see what the talented team puts out next. Oh my god. And this tweet from Danny. Woof. I don't know. I really don't know what to make of the Tango closure. It's harsh. It's real harsh. Thank you, old mate John. 11 subs to go, everybody. Banjo got the zoomies. Yeah, I don't know what he's going on. What he's going on about. If Bethesda Game Studios proper was in truly dire straits, would Xbox shut them down? How successful the Fallout show has been? Yeah, of course they would. They're not though. Like if Bethesda Game Studios in general was also doing really badly, yes, they'd get shut down, but they're not. So, thank you, McFunkabean. But even if they did, they'd still have the IP. But yeah, that's not happening. Thank you, Wild Gamer. You heard nobody who made the game still work there anyway? Any truth to that? No, that is not true. We know that Shinji Mikami left, which isn't nothing. But no. That is otherwise not true. But like, that's also just a reality of the games industry that people swap in and out all the time. It's just that's kind of the way that it has to work. There's a new project and they don't have a big enough team, or you don't like the new project, or whatever. It just keeps happening. Thank you, Emery97. How's the PC repair? Yeah, I can't do it. I'm going away next week. So my PC won't be repaired until June. Ghostwire Tokyo was mid-AF. I was also disappointed by Ghostwire Tokyo, but that doesn't change the outcome. It doesn't mean that I wanted the studio to be shut down, and I love Hi-Fi Rush. So in your opinion, how do I make it known that I fucking this unsubscribed Game Pass mad twits? I don't know what you mean, Solid Scorpius. I don't know what you mean. It's depressing that we might never get Dishonored 3. Dude, Dishonored 1 and 2. I love Dishonored 2. I love that game. So good. Yeah, it's like heartbreaking. I'm just sad. I'm just really fucking sad, and I'm not even affected. I have a job still, like securely. I am maybe naive. I'm not worried about being laid off, and I just keep thinking, if I'm fucking sad, what about the people I just can't not picture the version of so many people that I know now who worked their asses off to get into the games industry. It's all they wanted to do, and then they got there, and then this is what they met with. It takes like years to get into one of these studios, into a AAA studio. Not for everybody, obviously. Everyone still hires juniors, but like for a lot of those people, it's their whole lives leading to working on a game like Prey or a game like Dishonored. And not for anything that you've done wrong, just for a market, it's gone. And like, again, I'm really annoyed about the just make good games thing. Like that criticism is so fucking stupid, because like on top of how it not mattering, it's also the gamers who are saying that, like, just make good games and then gamers will buy them. You're the people playing fucking Fortnite 24/7. You're the people playing Ultimate Team. Like, they're probably not one-to-one the same people, but it's the same fucking thing. Like, we got here because Fortnite is so successful, because FIFA Ultimate Team is so successful. That's how we ended up here. Gamers are choosing that. That's what's happening, and that is in no way me blaming gamers. But like the make good game argument doesn't work, because good game isn't going to take people away from the Fortnite landscape. That's what people want right now. Going indie is the way to go. I don't know about that. Look, there's still a place for AAA video games, obviously. I don't think you're going to lose the huge pillars. because those huge pillars are still getting people into these subscription services or getting people to buy hardware. The huge console selling games from each of the major platform holders, I think they're still really important. It's that there are less of them and that I expect across the board budgets to drop. Always surprised with the attach rate of bangers that aren't COD or FIFA. Dude, people do not finish video games. People just, like, most games. And there are so many games. Oh, whatever. Thank you, Dumple. Do you think that the outcry for hi-fi is equivalent to the completion rates for the game less than 10% across all difficulties? Wow, I didn't know that. But the completion rate, like, even if I'm touching on that, I do think it's a retention thing, right? But it doesn't... Okay, how do I phrase this? It does and doesn't matter. So if a developer sees that the completion rate for a game is low, they are going to pay attention to that and try to increase completion rate next time. Like, the dev studio themselves is going to care about that and try to cater to that. That is definitely a thing that happens. I have friends who are directors at other studios who have had to do that, been like, nobody fucking finished this game. We have to figure out a way to make the completion rate higher. Or that's a goal that they will want. But as far as the publishers and the layoffs are concerned, why would they care? Why would they care about completion rate? In theory, wouldn't it benefit a publisher in some ways to have people buying things but not finishing them? Because then they're just buying more stuff. We might need more AA stuff that's not like 90 hours of AAA stuff isn't working for a lot of these studios. See, Redfall felt AA to me. Like, it's not, and what do these words even mean? But it felt like a AA game to me. And I mean, a Psychonauts feels AA. It is technically AAA at this point, but those games still exist. And like, I hope Psychonauts did well. Psychonauts 2 is a very good game. My only criticism of that game was the most minor thing in the world. Like, it's so much fun. I really, really enjoyed it. Tears of the Kingdom can't have a double-digit completion rate, can it? God, no. There's no way. Need more players like Refunds Jr. who want to complete every game for the achievements. Again, I don't know that helps the industry either, though, because in theory, then you have people stuck in one game, which is only really beneficial to a publisher if they're playing something that is live service, or like they can charge for the hours that you play, which is the dream. I've mentioned this a million times, but in case you haven't seen me talk about it, thank you, Professor Scott. There was this Activision earnings report. Like, I used to pay attention to all the earnings calls, all the investor calls when I worked in journalism. And I highly recommend anybody who's like really interested in games do that. Just listen to the calls. They're publicly available, so you can. And there was this presentation that really informed how I felt about Activision, which, you know, they were owning, which was basically a suggestion of envy for the film industry. They were like, okay, so people spend $20 on a movie ticket for something that's an hour and a half. They play our games for 100 hours and it's only $60. How do we make sure that we can monetize every hour for that $20 rate the way that films have? How do we monetize so that we get money from every hour that they play that game? And that was an actual goal that they spoke about in an earnings call. And I feel like that really informs a lot of the position of a lot of these execs in the industry, is monetizing hours. Like, maybe you have to pay $5 to unlock the next chapter, which would be insane, but... Zoomer attention span is very hard to cater to. Look at YouTube, for instance. If you don't grab someone in the first 5 seconds for the entire video, you fail. I'm not going to say I mean, look, as someone who makes YouTube videos, I don't have that problem, but I'm not going to say that the attention spans aren't an issue. But, like, well, they're not really here because, again, the people spending all of the money on the live service games, they are doing that, and they are playing them for a really long time. And I guess publishers feel robbed because they're like, oh, but I haven't made enough money from every single fucking hour that you played this game. I need to monetize every second that you goddamn play this. Like, it's just so silly. GTA Online will be fun for that type of shit, subscription and that. GTA Online is like one of the only ones that I will defend. And I hope that I don't like shoot myself in the foot when it comes out. But where GTA Online is concerned, Rockstar gets to make incomparably expensive video games. No comparison. They get to make the most expensive game. They break the records every single time. Nobody gets to do what Rockstar does. It is not sustainable. The amount of money that they get to spend is so much higher than everybody else's. And that's why they change the industry. Every time one of those games comes out, everyone else is like, try not to release around GTA. What the fuck? GTA Online is the reason they're able to do that. GTA can't exist. Rockstar can't exist to the caliber that they do. And I do think that they are on a whole other level. And it's like not even arguable to me. Because of GTA Online. And that's like, I kind of think an example of the model working, which is GTA Online is directly funding the next GTA single player experience. Again, that's only if it actually turns out the way that, you know, their previous games have, that Red Dead did, right? That every previous fucking GTA has. Like, that only applies if it still sticks that landing, but that is an example of the industry like sustaining itself the way that I would want it to. That I'm sure that they profit tremendously from GTA Online, but there's a lot of quality in GTA Online. We're seeing that with GTA RP. The fact that you can do that at all is super impressive, in my opinion. Thank you, Mad Starman. And then that funding not only goes to the publisher to keep them happy, to keep people employed, who I guess Take-Two did just still fucking lay a bunch of people off, so who wins at the end of the day anyway, but that then a lot of that money gets pushed forward onto the next single player experience. And again, if that works, then it works, but nobody else has GTA Online. It's just, I'm fine with GTA Online existing, and don't get the fuck you, fuck GTA Online, we want new GTA. Because that's the only reason those games get to be the most expensive thing on the planet. GTRP is a mod though, only recently they hired them. Yeah, but it's a mod that they're allowing, right? Like, it doesn't matter to me. I doubt if Elder Scrolls Online had released under Microsoft instead of ZeniMax that they'd have stuck by that game or ZeniMax Online. I actually don't really know the numbers for Elder Scrolls Online. But if they've just folded some other studios in to the ESO team, I would think it's pretty profitable. I think it's also kind of the same thing where, like, it's a live service game, right? An MMO is a live service game, where as long as it is making enough money, the people who play it, those whales, are worth the risk. Like, that's what I'm saying about why there are going to be more live service games, even if there's a risk that they will fail, like a Redfall, like a Suicide Squad. It's better than taking a risk on a live service game than it is on taking a risk on a single player microtransaction free game, unfortunately. That is just the way that it is. I mean, if it promises to suck me in for 2,000 hours, I will no doubt spend $100 on a game, so long as there are not microtransactions. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Medallion. Oh, we hit the goal. Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, hey, some good news, everybody. Thank you so much, Medallion. We have to give away a Bioshock 10th Anniversary Collector's Edition. Let's go. Haha. I'm giving away this beautiful thing. It has a Big Daddy in it. If you want to sell it, that's fine. Go ahead. But I'm also willing to sign it if you would like it. This does have to be US, Canada only. I'm sorry, everybody. Because while the Final Fantasy Collector's Edition did end up getting to Jarvis MO. It took a very long time because of customs returning it repeatedly, and I think it cost me maybe like $300 to ship that thing because I had to do it so many times. So yeah, we'll do US and Canada. Thank you everybody so much. And then I'll set a new one and we'll give something else away as well. BBL Drizzy. It says my live is unstable right now. Yeah, for anyone watching on YouTube, by the way, if you want to jump over to Twitch right now just for the giveaway, you are welcome to do that. I don't mind, you don't have to stick around for a long time. Twitch.tv/Alanah if you want. There we go. That's going to take a minute, but I'll put it up there. I've been streaming more this month. I think I've streamed like 20 hours this month. How do you think all the layoffs will change Gamescape going forward? Do you think this will cause a big reduction in creative risk-taking? Yes, games are going to get worse. I keep trying to say that, and it will sink in eventually. The quality of video games is going to decline. You just haven't seen that yet. You will see that in 2-3 years. But yes, that is going to happen. Budget cuts across the AAA space, and just loss of people with experience. Just inherently makes it harder to make things. The more we lose people who have experience, the more we overwork the other people who have to pick up the slack from their teammates that they've lost, the worse video games get. It's a real shame. Thank you, ex-Polish Kraken. Polish Kraken. I said Polish. Well, it could be either, I guess. And Nikki Rosecat. All this shit with making numbers go up to appease shareholders is like someone perfectly healthy just amputating their own limbs just to meet quarterly weight loss goals. Yeah, that's a really good example. And it sucks because, like, the thing that really gives me existential dread when we talk about this is that it's not that they're not making good money. They're making incredible money. It's that they're not making more money than they did last year. It's not about profit. Profit's not enough. You have to profit more than your previous profit. How societally are we considering that sustainable? It's easy, just fire the CEO. I mean, the solutions are there. We know the solutions. There are many a solution in, like, just cut the salaries of the execs. It doesn't work that way. Late stage capitalism indeed. Thank you, Darth Jeebus. They want infinite growth in a system built on finite resources. 100%. 100%. Pleasing the investors is the problem. Yeah, but so long as the stock market exists, I don't think the system can change. Normal dear, thank you. And I've said this before as well, but I always feel like, what if gamers, what if they started investing in the stock market? What if every time that a company did something that you like, you put 50 cents into their shares? That you like actually started like putting little tiny baby bits of money into the stock market just to support games doing what you like. Can you guys hear that? Can you hear that? That's coyotes. That be coyotes. Woof. It's okay, Benji. It's okay. I know. It's very scary. Big ol' coyotes. I forgot what I was saying because I got distracted by the coyotes. I was talking about, if the individual gamers were putting money into the stock market, the problem is that I think everyone would be corrupted by that. I think pretty much all humans would be like, wait, I can make more money if I do this. I do not think people have the strength to look at the stock market as thing that makes them money and avoid funding the thing that makes them money. I think vast majority of people will just succumb. Are people putting in would you kindly for giveaway purposes? I think I might have missed it. Where is it? Is it a pinned comment or something? One of my mods? Somebody said would you kindly somewhere? So I can read out the rules. I think to enter the giveaway, you're putting would you kindly in chat. The winner has been contacted. Make sure you have your whispers set to public. So that they can contact you in a certain amount of time. They will send you a message, and then we will need your address and your phone number, and let me know if you want me to sign it. I will not be offended if you don't. I had a thought today that I really don't like. But I also just think we're so fucked that what does it matter? But I did have a thought today that I thought that I was like, okay. No, I don't even want to say it. But the reality of the situation we're in, I think, is so bleak. That I am so anti-microtransaction. I bought one. I don't even do DLC. I've never bought a season pass. I'm considering changing that stance. Congratulations, I said. Congratulations, Cloud 9000. I'll give away another one of the Bioshock Collector's Editions when we hit the 1,000 sub points, which is less than 1,000 subs, which is sub points. I was like, okay, if this is a situation we're in and that we can only get single player games that have microtransactions, fine. Like if I have to deal with what Capcom's doing, Resident Evil 4, Dragon's Dogma 2 having microtransactions that are like sucky, like they're ones I don't want. That I'm of a mind where I would prefer that be the reality. That there are bad microtransactions. And by bad, I mean ones that are not appealing, to be clear. Oh, thank you, Cloud 9000, for the 5 gifted sub. Thank you so much. Like they're bad in that they like don't really help the game. They're just like there and they're kind of shit. That I would prefer to defend those games. I'm not saying spend money, but like to encourage people play them, where previously the stance is currently from a lot of people, if it has them, I won't play it. I would opt to shift the stance to play it, but don't buy them. Because I think the alternative is everything is live service. And I would prefer to still have good single player games that have stupid microtransactions. Like the ones in Resident Evil 4, they make the game worse. The ones in Dragon's Dogma 2, I can't imagine anyone wanting any of them. Except maybe the port crystals. Because that game does not have enough fucking port crystals. But like, stop shitting on those. Just don't buy the microtransactions. Keep playing the games. Because the other option, like this is the reality is in front of us. And the reality is you only have access to live service games, or you allow single player games to have microtransactions that you don't care about. Give me the game that has microtransactions. I don't think we're at a point where we're just going to get the stuff that we've always wanted or always had. I think that's long gone. But thank you, Pluffy. As sad as it is. I'm also okay, XL Obito, with people putting in a microtransaction. Again, I won't do it, but of like putting in money on a microtransaction or whatever. For a game they put a shit ton of hours in. If that's the case, that's almost like tipping your game dev. You don't even need them in DD2. The game gives you so many wake stones and fairy stones and RC from just playing normally. You definitely don't need them in DD2. The only one that I'm saying is the crystals, the port crystals. The portable ones, you don't get a ton of those. Like, you do get tons of wake stones and fairy stones. I got fucking wake stones falling out my ass. And the eternal wake stone I just got like 2 days ago. Killed that sexy lady. We're not going to elaborate in case it's spoilers. But like the fact that Batal doesn't have a port crystal is crazy. You know what I mean? How long until games have tip jars? I feel like I would prefer that even. I would prefer to tip Arcane, especially if they make a game like Redfall that I don't really care for. I would prefer to like give money to Arcane to have them make cool shit that I like on a long-term basis and like not play Redfall, but like let them have that funding. I'm not against it. We shouldn't have to be doing this. Like, again, you can make so many arguments so easily all over the internet for like, fuck that, it shouldn't be on the players, and it shouldn't. But that, capitalism. That's the world that we live in right now. What are you going to do about it? Like, you can scream as much as you want. It is not going to change anything. And does that suck? Yeah. But there's nothing we can fucking do. That's what I'm saying. What if all devs had little Patreons that we could just support? Like, again, shouldn't be the case. We shouldn't even be thinking about that. But as opposed to what? This is my favorite Bernie Sanders quote. As opposed to what? There's no... What else can we do? You just have to get rid of the stock market entirely, and we can't do that. Thank you, Onikase. And Think Fear. Unionizing would not fix these problems, by the way. So do I think that the games industry should unionize? 100% yes. I would love to see more unions across the games industry. To prevent layoffs, to prevent overworking. A lot of game studios got a lot of very unhealthy work environments still, considering the amount of money they make. But unionizing would not benefit the players. That would not benefit the consumers. I mean, it might, in that like people would be happier and thus quality of their work is generally higher. We are pro-union. Game devs are underpaid and overworked and have no stability, for sure. But that the unions won't fix the microtransaction live service problem. I wonder how Obsidian will do if Avowed isn't a mega hit. I would think Obsidian is okay because they have, you know, hey, one weird little upside from this is that maybe this shift, whatever caused this particular shift to happen, and I don't know what that is. In what world do you think game devs have an average salary of 100K? What? There's no way that's true. Unless you include like all of the execs, which you shouldn't. Average of 100K? Come on now. There's no way that's true. What was I saying? I forgot what I was saying again. I would think 70K average is probably closer to correct. Yeah. 100K? Fuck out of here. No way that's right. Software devs for sure do. I mean, software devs is probably even higher than that, but I was saying something and I forgot what it was. Oh yeah, basically just unions won't prevent the video game landscape. They won't have an influence on the video game landscape. They won't change shit. Google says 116,000 base for a game developer? Okay, Google. Sure. I took a pay cut to work in game development from Funhouse. I took a pay cut. I don't make 100K. Funhouse paid me more. I was saying something about Obsidian. Oh yeah, sorry, I was. That I wonder if there is a potential upside in renewed interest in IP, meaning that maybe Google does also say I'm a millionaire. Crazy. That maybe there is New Vegas potential. We can't bug them about it. Everyone always asks Josh about it all the time. It's like, I'm sure that's driving him insane. Pentiment is a fucking awesome game. I had a lot of fun playing Pentiment. But maybe that could be pushed at some point in the future. But it's still not really an upside in the grand scheme of things. Google, let me see. Okay, Google, how much money average game dev salary? Google's AI says 91K with a range of 64 to 127. Glassdoor estimates average salary is 86,000. Even that seems a little high. But I mean, yeah, there are a lot of different jobs in game dev. It kind of depends on what they count. But yeah, game devs are absolutely underpaid, and if you think that the average game dev salary is 100K, I would like to know where. Let it sink in. Funhouse paid me more than game development, than AAA game development. Funhouse. You saw what I did at Funhouse. I got drunk and played Mario Kart. Super Smash Bros. Okay? I cried laughing because somebody was dressed as a Fox Pikachu Mega Man. Okay? They paid me more than AAA game development. Think about that for a minute. You know how stupid that job was. And it paid more than AAA game development. The Trendmaster, a great example. What a stupid made up job. But, you know, I mean, that obviously didn't work out great for Rooster Teeth, so maybe they shouldn't have. You think the wage gap got me? I don't think so. I know for a fact that ABK Blizzard pays less than 65 on entry-level dev positions. Yeah, I have a friend who works, I won't say where, at a studio making games you've definitely heard of, and they get paid 45K in the development space. Acting like game devs getting paid bank. No, they're also, again, still always overworked. And the industry is sickeningly profitable. If you have not seen my GDC speech, not to just shill my own content, but I would highly recommend it. Why would anyone settle for that money? That's the whole fucking problem with this top to bottom. And it's the thing that I think makes me the saddest to think about. The reason why people would settle for that money is because they love video games. The reason that people are willing to work in the games industry when it takes so much money and takes so much of their lives, and you still get harassed by someone on Twitter because the game wasn't good enough because the publisher didn't give you enough fucking money, is because they love video games. And that passion is just so exploitable. It's so easy to see that somebody loves something and say, you are privileged to work here. You're so lucky to get to work here. And thus you get to underpay them. They take all the blame when things underperform. The game wasn't good enough. It can never be the money person's fault, you know? And it's so sad to think about. Any suggestion that, like, again, I'm giving way too much airtime to people that we all know are idiots here, but any suggestion that people who work in game development don't love video games or all just like some sort of woke shills is fucking stupid. You don't work in video games unless you love them. It sucks. It sucks real bad. But I think the same thing applies to gamers, right? Like, gamers are also kind of rolling over and taking whatever shit the industry gives them. And again, I think it's going to get worse. Because you love them. There's no alternative. You don't want to stop gaming as a hobby. You don't. You fucking love playing video games. You don't want to turn away from the hobby that you spent so much time on, that's like shaped who you are as a person, that's built your communities. You don't want to walk away from that. And they know that. So you'll fucking take whatever you get. And that is the reality. There's nothing any of us can do. Because we grew up loving games, dreaming of getting into the industry, competed against hundreds to get the job, and accepted any offer only to realize it's shit, but it's our check and we made it in the industry 100%. To be clear, to be perfectly clear, I personally love my job. Okay, I'm very happy with where I work. I do not feel that I'm overworked. I feel I'm very respected. I just want to feels like a weird thing to say amongst the landscape, but I don't want anyone to get confused where that particular thing is concerned. I'm very lucky. I hate corpos, man. As you should. Any corpo shilling, not on my watch. Thank you, McFunkabean. Microsoft devs make 126, and that might be entry or average, so experienced ones probably 160k. But when you say Microsoft devs, they're blank one, you're referring to software engineering. You're not referring to game development. That is Microsoft. That is a very different... That's where all of our programmers should go, really. They'd probably get treated better. That's not game development. I'm trying to word my question carefully because I know there's too broad a range of topics to this, but with downsizing of the AAA market, do you think we're going to see the indie space corner-cutting niche design incorporated? Or is the quality of AAA expected to stay the same with the reduction in staff and budget? Quality of AAA will decrease, in my opinion. Review bomb it? Don't do that. Review bombs don't help. They don't. Review bombs... It's so tough because it's like, I get as consumers that you want to say something. Review bombs just hurt the studios, though. The review bombing is not what helped Helldivers. Review bombing... It feels so misguided to me. Like, watching people review bomb... No, it didn't. It didn't work for Helldivers. It didn't. You might think that. Unrelated. Review bombing, like, when it comes to, like, Dragon's Dogma 2, for example, Capcom's not going to change anything. That dev team just gets fucking bombed out. It doesn't help. I feel like the review bombs just hurt that studio. No, Arrowhead said don't do it. Arrowhead said please stop review bombing. You're just hurting us. They said that. The biggest thing being refunds sounds a lot more likely to me. That's just it's all about money. When I visit Germany again, I don't know. Why do you keep asking that? Helldivers is back to high reviews, which is great, but that just fucking bummed them out. And review bombing, like, I'm not going to tell you... I'm not going to tell you not to do it if you want to say something and you want to feel like your voice is heard and you want to be angry about something you're angry about, right? Like, you are allowed to express, and there are not a lot of avenues to express anger at the games industry. So, like, that's one side. It's like, okay, I'm not going to tell you not to do it if you really want to and you really want to say something. If your intention is to use review bombs to change a decision from a publisher, it is not going to work. The publisher doesn't give a shit about review bombs. They care about refunds. They care about money. They do not care about review bombs. That just makes the devs really sad. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you really want to do it, you can do it. If you really want to scream about stuff on Twitter, you can. But it just hurts the community managers. Like, I feel so sorry for any Microsoft community managers this week. They didn't make that decision, and yet they're going to be the ones who have to deal with all that shit, and that sucks. But yeah, it's the refunds that are actually going to change something. Apparently the CM of Helldivers 2 is fired. Really? You can't post a link. I'm sorry. Links won't work in the chat. Review bomb destroyed the music industry? Is that true? They don't care about relationship. They care about refunds. 100%. 100%. Will Phil Spencer and others need to address the layoffs during Xbox Showcase in June, or do they address it sooner or not at all? I think Phil's put himself in an unfortunate position of being the internet's friend, which is very tough when you're a CEO. And I think because Phil does have that image that he probably has to say something, but I would think doing a tweet would make more sense. I think mentioning it in the Xbox Showcase would be a weird call because that platform, I mean, they could. Do they have to? No, they could. I guess I would. If I were in that position, I would push really hard to say, we're so sorry to all the teams that we've lost, but like, that's just going to take away the news from all the games who are excited to be debuting there. Like, that's tough. It's a tough thing to go for. People aren't realizing review bombing is about the same effective strategy complaining to corporate about an individual employee in hopes the company will change their business practices, and they ignore that all that doing is corporate using the employee as a scapegoat. Well, yes, review bombing is a way for people to feel like they have their voices heard. And that's why I'm like, I'm not going to tell you not to do it. If you feel like you're angry about something and you want to share that, it's really tough to have any impact on the games industry. But yeah, you're kidding yourself if you think that it changes anything at all, ever. It's refunds. And anything legal. Legal battles will make a difference too. But, no, they don't give a shit. They don't know. They probably, okay, let me paint this picture to you as explicitly as possible. Half of these executives don't even know what a review bomb is. They're so fucking out of touch. They have no idea what that term even, they've never heard of it before. The fuck is a review bomb? People are complaining on Twitter. Why are you telling me this? Why would I give a shit? Like, that's how these people work. They do not give a single fuck. The people that you are like trying to have the impact on don't give a fuck about Metacritic. Like, they're so far up and so out of touch that it doesn't matter. Gaming board members don't play video games is probably accurate for vast majority. There are some exceptions, but for vast majority of them, like a lot of them, they don't even care about video games. They don't know what dev teams do. They don't know what players think. They don't give a shit. They just care about arrow only go up. That's all it is. Yeah, it would, if you went to one of the executives at one of these companies and you were like, hey, I just thought you should know this is being review bombed. They'd be like, what does that mean? Well, a bunch of players, it says disliked. It says the game has been disliked. Has that affected sales today? No. Shut the fuck up, get out of my office. They don't care. They don't care about Twitter. They don't care about YouTube. They don't care about Reddit. It's just a bunch of people making themselves angry in a circle. Refunds do matter. Refunds matter. And what you spend your money on matters. Review bombs? I'm not for it, personally. Again, I understand expressing frustration and wanting to have your voice heard. It's arbitrary, and it does hurt the studio, or upsets the studio, you know? But I'm not going to tell you not to do it, because I understand the other side of it. What makes them qualified for their role? Like execs? Usually that they've worked for a bunch of companies that have made a bunch of money. Would anyone buy a game with overwhelming negative status? Yes. Yes, they would. And they do all the time. If only that worked. Like, that's the way capitalism is supposed to work. The way it's supposed to work, in theory, is that the market decides. But I think that was a system that made sense when we weren't faced against multi-million-dollar corporations who are so good at marketing. Like, you as an individual human, no matter what you think, how are you ever going to go up against a corporate machine that is worth billions with people who are getting paid millions, whose whole job it is to make you spend money on the thing they want you to spend money on? That's their whole fucking job, full-time. 75% of the company's money might go towards that. You as an individual do not have the power to reject all of that. And I feel like the system probably began in a period of time where those marketing influences weren't quite as prevalent, and we could sort of word of mouth each other in a lot more effective ways than we can now. But like everything is just there at this point to tell you what to buy and what to consume and when to consume it, and to be excited about the product and to shut up about the next product. And like, who gives, and yeah, oh yeah, we'll leave the reviews up, but who gives a fuck? Like, it doesn't, you can't play a game against a machine that is so expertly designed to get money from you. You have small pieces of influence, you have tastes, but collectively, you're kidding yourself if you think that you can say no to majority of that. Nothing Madison, we're all gonna die. This is why I consider myself to be a huge downer. Like, people use the word woke in weird ways. This is the way specifically that I always feel like I am too woke, is that I get existential dread all the time, specifically about corporatism. And I wish I could turn it off. I wish my brain could just go, ignore it, have fun. But I'm too woke. I can't. Too actively aware of the machine. I think about that more often than anything with social media. Like, those apps are expertly designed with a team of highly paid experts and AI and fucking robots to take all of your time. That is the currency that matters to them. They don't care what you say on the app. They don't care how much you complain about the app. They care about time. And time is both your most precious resource and a very, very finite resource. Time is the most precious thing that you as a human have. The number one thing that should be of value to you is your time. And they are competing for that and winning, watching us fucking argue with each other, winning to steal your time. They want more time than you even have available. They want 120% of the hours you have in a day, they want on apps. They're doing such a great job. And we're effectively powerless to refute it. Because it's so precisely designed to take that resource from you. And it just, again, I feel really woke. Makes me really fucking sad. That, like, part of it is all of the people who are doing this stuff aren't inherently evil. The people who are trying to steal your time or steal your money aren't inherently bad people. They're not even, like, it's not like they're twiddling being like, all of their time. Like, they're just people who are employed to look at data. So nobody in the system that I think is like fucking brain rot for the whole of mankind is necessarily complicit. Like, you are and are not. I don't know. It's kind of both. Thank you, GD out 5. Now I definitely want to see the video of Alanah being high. If only I was so eloquent. Not that I was eloquent just now. I was just stressed. Related though, the high video is on my dead PC. It will exist whenever my PC gets fixed. There's one other video that's on the PC. Oh, the Deadly Premonition stream is also on the dead PC, so both of those have to wait. I'm going to have Jacob edit both of those. I'm going to have Jacob or Charlotte edit a ton of content for me, so there should be like a lot of Funhouse flavor and a lot of the stuff that I make going forward, which I'm excited about. Yeah, you'll see. I'm trying to like subtly revive Funhouse in my own way on my IRL channel over time, but you'll see. People need to form their own opinions and stop following the crowd. Yes, but again, we're really social creatures. That shit's really hard. You're not wrong, but it's really hard. Thank you, Busted Grumpy. The only drug I'm high on is copium. Yeah, it's me, but again, being too woke. It's just real hard. Do you ever think the US government will ever regulate the gaming industry like other governments have? No. I'm not trying to be argumentative, but you are subcontracted now to a big corpo and using social media now to make money? Yes. That's just that meme that's like, you criticize society, yet you participate in it. Yeah. I do indeed participate in the society that I criticize. Hard to have a unique opinion that doesn't align with any particular crowd. Well, that's also true, but we're social creatures, you know, we are influenced by... That's part of us. You should definitely try to think independently and like be very critical of anything that you think is swaying your opinion in one direction. And if a question even pops into your head for a second, question it, research it, look into it. If you have a question on either side, I just wish people would like want to be informed, you know? You want to fix the climate change, yet you exhale CO2? Exactly. You're not wrong. Do I stream on YouTube as well? I do, yeah. I have stream on my YouTube channel. What ended up being wrong with my computer's nostalgia? My coolant, my pumps don't start. And this problem has happened to me repeatedly with this PC. That sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Right now they just won't start. So the PC just won't start. You can hear them like try and tick on, but they won't. So the solution is that I have to take off all of my custom piping and redo it because I think that the pumps are clogged in some way. So we have to like redo the whole fucking thing. It's just, I don't have time to do that right now. So it's going to be a real pain in the ass because that piping was so intricate too. It really took me a lot of fucking, just so careful, and yeah, it is what it is. But it looks beautiful. I just wish simple things like loot boxes and other systems designed to abuse the consumer would at least be considered. So I think there's a case for loot boxes to be considered because they aren't taxed appropriately. Like I can see there being a world in the future where loot boxes, because they are very much akin to gambling, get taxed in a different way. So that like the government has to make money off the top of that. I could see that potentially happening. Not right now, obviously. The last thing I want is more government regulation. True. In agreement with you across the board. What have I been playing besides DD2? Right now, I'm just playing DD2. A lot of it. I mean, obviously, I'm working and been playing some Fallout 76 and all that, but that is the main game I am playing right now, is Dragon's Dogma 2. At this point, we need way, way more government regulation. The problem is that, like, I would say yes if I trusted the government. Government regulation is literally defensive against hypercapitalism. It should be. It should be. In theory. Oh yeah, no, when I say DD2, I'm saying Dragon's Dogma 2. I had that problem when I was Googling some shit. When I was like trying to find something, I was trying to find certain items to upgrade my armor, and I keep putting in DD2 and getting Darkest Dungeon. BBL Jersey. In any case, I've seen some of you say, what can you do to help? Great question. The big one to me is try to support the people who got laid off. Following people on Twitter helps. Interacting with the posts where they say they're searching for jobs helps. Give them a like or a retweet or whatever else helps so that they can at least like be discovered. Continue buying the games you like. Again, this is crazy and should never be on the consumer. Like, this is an insane thing. I hate that I am saying this. But I would even consider, if you love a game, buy it twice. Buy it for a friend. Buy it for yourself and then buy it for someone you love. Anything like that. And then avoid the games doing the shit you don't like. Just don't fucking play them. It's like the Call of Duty players who play Call of Duty every year and then complain about Call of Duty in the next breath. Don't buy the games you don't like. Stop buying them. You have to actually vote with your wallet. Invite the game to parties and show it to like-minded people. Exactly. Thank you, McFunkabean. I appreciate that. I don't know that I'm doing the right thing, but I'm trying. I don't know, man. It just feels so hopeless. I always have people like come at me for not doing more. And like, I don't know. I've taken some job risks for sure by the amount that I yell about this stuff. I don't know what more I can do. You could ask me to unionize, but I don't know anything about unions. I'm not experienced on that. I don't know how to do that. How would I start a union? I don't fucking know. Like, to ask me to do that because I have a platform doesn't really work. I have no union experience. It would make more sense to ask me to signal boost a union, which I will always do. I can give your unions attention. Don't think I can start a union. I played Hi-Fi Rush on Game Pass and never bought it. It's all my fault. Wasn't Rooster Teeth part of a union? Not that I'm aware of. you could ask Hassan's community about unions. With all due respect, I would rather die than go and ask Hassan's community a question. Can you imagine going into Hassan's chat and being like, hey, could you tell me about unions? What are you trying to get abused? No. Him, I'm sure you could ask Hassan about unions and that, like, I imagine he would be helpful. But asking Hassan's community anything seems like a terrible idea. Yeah, you get bullied out of the room real fast. Yeah, I don't know about that, Chief. I appreciate your intent. I know, like, isn't all of his merch, like, union owned or whatever? But I don't know. Asking union leaders, yeah. Call it a guild, SAG, Writers Guild, totally different. Well, those guilds are still unions. Again, no one's stopping me from talking about unions or signal boosting unions. None of that. That's all fine. They're not a very welcoming community, let's say that. Yeah. I will say to my chat here that I somewhat often have people tell me that my community is really welcoming. So thank you for that. I appreciate all of you for being welcoming. Hassan will show you someone else's video about it. No, I think that if I would ask Hassan to tell me about unions, I think he would be helpful. But I would also feel bad asking him. Well, I should just Google it. But I do think that his community would just scream at me. So. I am in the Hassan Discord because I was on a stream once. I'm glad to hear that, Esmeraldo. Have I ever spoken to union reps? I've spoken to SAG reps. I have to join SAG in June because I've been working as an actor non-union for too long and they're mad at me. But I have to film something this month that is non-union, so I have to wait until after that finishes before I can join the union. Which, yeah, they're mad at me for not joining. Which is fair enough, though I have not been taken advantage of in any way, which is kind of funny. Like, I feel like in all of the projects that I've done, I've been treated very well, but they're mad at me for not joining the union. It's not scabbing. VA work? No, both, actually. Because I've got live action stuff and voice acting stuff. But yeah, they want my union dues 100%. That said, maybe they could pay for my health insurance. So that would be great. I would really like that. Because, dear God. Did I have anything else to say today? The only other thing to touch on. BBL Tracy. BBL Tracy. Is you may have seen this Mike Ybarra tweet that I responded to. I thought I would just talk about that a little here. Oh, what is that alert for? What does that mean? I don't know what it means. Oh, is that from the Chia? Mo chocolate? Hey, friend. Nice to see you. For bits. Okay. This says, let me change it away. Make it bigger. This is real quick. I see a lot of shots at Phil over today's Xbox announcements. I get it. But knowing him as a human, I know this hurts him as much as it hurts anyone else. I can't speak for all the leadership there, but I do know him. And I know what he's likely going through. I know Phil. I like Phil a lot. Phil, I'm saying this as somebody who, like, as not your average internet user. I will give Phil a hug if I see him. I have no doubt that Phil is upset. And I am of the impression that Phil is a good person. And I have no doubt that he's sad about this. Right? No part of me thinks that however sad Phil might be would compare to the people who've been laid off, to the point that it is almost irrelevant, and mentioning it is really fucking weird. It's also like, when you're the CEO of a company, your job is to take shots. And there's no way Phil doesn't know that. There's no way he's not aware that that's his job. I would think that Phil would not want this to be tweeted. I'm not trying to defend the decisions. I think we all get ourselves into situations that are tough and unexpected. Certainly I have. It's part of the job, as is the accountability for the outcomes, but he's a good human and he cares deeply for the creative process and developers. Again, my assessment would be that that would be true. That's my first-hand experience in working closely with him for 8+ years and knowing him for 24+. I 100% understand the anger and confusion, and I feel deeply sorry for those teams impacted today and over the last few months. I didn't agree with every decision he made at Xbox, and I think that was pretty clear, but I do believe in his product leadership, and I know how hard these decisions can be. Xbox could have a very bright future. I hope they are able to realizes it, and all of the teams have an incredible experience together. It's certainly a tough time that needs great clarity into what the plan ahead is and how gamers everywhere can be excited for it. So Mike's being pretty badly roasted for this. I responded. That's a recent ratio we've got there. What a weird thing for me to say. Like, who gives a shit? This is actual real people. I said, Mike, I have a lot of fondness for Phil, which I do. And don't doubt he's incredibly bummed about this, but CEOs can handle some shots amidst people having their lives destroyed. Your sympathetic post should be solely directed at those who've lost their jobs, which I really, really, really strongly feel. If I were Mike in this situation, I would have messaged Phil and said, hey, you doing okay? Why would you ever take the space as somebody who works in the games industry to say, don't be mean to the CEO? That does not make any sense to me. It's, he replied and said, I'm not saying they shouldn't, but he's not the robot celebrating in the glory of this as someone to make him out to be. Of course he isn't. Why would you even give those people the airtime? You're in the industry. You know how this works and what can and can't be said. Don't know what that means. Am I going to get shot? Is that like a mafia note? Not sure about that one. Look, you know how this works and what can and can't be said realistically means that he's probably saying this was somebody else's decision, but Phil's not allowed to say that. That's probably what he's trying to imply there. And I do get that. I do get how that stuff works. And it's not like I'm furious at him for saying this. I just think this is just for somebody who was in an executive position to take the time to say this. Virtually everybody who's worked with Phil has good things to say about him. Phil does not need this. And the people who do need the support right now are not the millionaire CEO. And there's something so inhuman about how this ends. Xbox could have a bright future. A bunch of studios making great shit just got shut down. You could have waited a fucking day. Give it 24 hours. Just, guys, just a couple more seconds. You know? Trying to see who else I know that replied here. People's livelihoods are shattered and people are supposed to consider how the guy responsible will be sad about Twitter posts. Yeah. With all due respect, I do not think hurts him as much as anyone else when it comes to the... Wait, did he say that? Does it actually say hurts him as much as any... Oh. Yeah. No. Nope. Not sure about that one, Chief. Not sure about that one, Chief. Danny O'Dwyer, this is embarrassing, and tone deaf. Delete the tweet and apologize to the people who lost their jobs today. I tried to phrase this in a way that isn't rude or rude a couple of times but failed because the truth is rude. People like you and Phil never bear the consequences of your decisions. Workers do. That's true. Do I think that Phil is probably having a really tough week? Yes. Is that a consequence compared to the situation that all of the people who've lost their jobs are in? No. No part of me would want anyone to go abuse Phil Spencer. I do think he cares. I do think that he would be very unhappy about this happening. That's not the same as being laid off. Man, he really being roasted in these replies here. Recommendation from a communications professional. Maintain focus on those impacted. I doubt anyone thinks that this was an easy decision or that folks up high feel good about this. True. And I think that's the main thing, right? Is like, you're responding to people who are fucking idiots. Like the tweet I showed earlier, the console war shit. I won't reply to that tweet, even if I called it out here just to rant about how stupid it is. Because everyone, like, the people who are saying that are not worth the attention. Everyone who's saying that is immediately worth discounting. What feels worth, though, is losing stability in income and all that stress that comes with that. 100%. 100%. Humanizing CEOs like this is so tone deaf. Phil can handle it. He will get paid and get his millions of dollars at the end of this day. Not sure why Mike would jump on a sword like that for him. Yeah, I totally agree. I've not seen anyone like personally attacking Phil. I don't doubt that stuff exists. And obviously you don't condone that top to bottom. I don't care if you're a CEO. Unless, you know. I mean, some of them. Some of them. Okay? No part of me is going to be like, don't drag Epstein. Like, it's some of them. Okay, you can go for some of them. I don't condone people abusing Phil. But I don't think that anyone in the industry should be taking a stance that's like, well, but how's Phil feeling today? He's not that. It's just not necessary. Bobby Kotick, I've said some shit about, okay? I'm not going to personally attack him. But, you know, don't feel great about him. We don't feel great about him. Don't defend the 1%, they can defend themselves. It's not even that. Yeah, can they defend themselves? It's even more privileged than that. They don't need to defend themselves. You don't need to defend a millionaire CEO on Twitter from some mean tweets. I have no doubt that Phil Spencer cares and is hurt and is upset. We've seen him talk about things very candidly, which I totally appreciate from the perspective of a CEO. It's not really about him. It's not really about him, is it? Because also, like, when you think about it, the people who get laid off also fucking get abused by gamers. You game was shit. Fuck you. Like, it's such a weird one, because you'd always think, like, if I was Elon Musk and I had all that money, you think I'd be on Twitter? Do anything else. But I guess the problem is, like, it proves that no matter how much money you have, people really need to get their validation however they get their validation. It is what it is. I don't know why rich people post so much. Yeah. Yeah. You have a pride flag in your bio. Good that you got fired. Game is 100%. Yeah. Oh, you have pronouns in your bio. I'm glad you lost your job. Those people who've lost their jobs also have to deal with all that shit. Me never going on Twitter again if I was stupid rich. Yeah, I feel like I would leave the internet. I feel like I'd be right out of there. I mean, I guess it's fun sometimes, though. Like, I usually have fun on Twitter because I go on, I post something dumb, and then I peace out. I don't read most of my replies, and I'm not a rich person. From my perspective. Subjective, I guess. But, like, if you're a millionaire, yeah, you could still have fun. But I'm not going to read people abusing me. I'm going to go on my yacht, you know? I'm an A+ shit poster. I really appreciate that. Thank you. I had somebody the other day said that they've never once seen me write a good tweet. And I was like, are you high out of your mind? If there's anything that I know that I'm good at, it's tweeting. I'm so aware that I've got that on lock. Okay? You're out of your fucking mind if you think I don't drop bangers on Twitter. And it is fun. Serial tweeter. I don't tweet that much, though. I don't tweet that much. If I had a ton of money, I would want to donate money anonymously. Not because I'm a good person not wanting credit. I just don't want to deal with people's thanks in person. Well, that's a tough one. Because taxes. Which is... As an aside, everybody, speaking about rich people, I kept making fun of the rich people at the Met Gala yesterday doing rich people shit. I don't know what they do there. I think they drink champagne and like listen to each other talk. While that was happening, Israel continued to bomb Palestine. Rafah, like, it seemed like it was intentionally timed. Which is like the third time this has happened, because it also happened at the Super Bowl. So why it, like, there's something so incredibly dystopian about that, about us all paying attention to the rich people and their $1 million dresses with their like $150,000 necklaces. And that's the timing of a lot of these people who are also pro-Israel, like that have signed off on the US providing more aid to Israel. While they're at this event, and we're looking at how nice they look, and just more people are just dying, they're just dying. And I don't like it. Just, it's crazy that stuff like this, when you see it in fiction, is so black and white. Nobody's questioning who the good guy is in the Hunger Games. You know who the good guy is in the Hunger Games. But the minute that it happens in real life, it's murky. It's the same fucking thing. It's not an isolated thing, though, isn't the same as if I'm listening to a Taylor Swift song or watching a movie. I don't see how that is related. I'm saying that the strikes, the particular strikes, seem to be targeted to when the Western world is not paying attention. That's what I'm saying. Pretty separate. No IRL bad guy looks like the bad guy. I mean, that's also true. Like, the Nazis were the closest that we really have had in a long time, I would have thought. Like, it's so fucking clear cut that the Nazis were bad. But even then, you have people going, well, like now, they're like, oh, were they that well? Oh, you're woke? Are you woke? You think the Nazis are bad? You fucking woke piece of shit? Like, that's happened now. People were mad at Wolfenstein marketing for saying punch Nazis in the face. How did we go from, like, the glory of America, World War II, fuck yeah, America, punch Nazis in the face, to, like, that being, like, the epitome of American patriotism, to where we are now, which is, well, maybe not all Nazis are bad people. Maybe you're a bigot if you think all the Nazis are bad people. You can't say that about every Nazi. Some of them are nice Nazis. Shut the fuck up. Were people mad about the marketing? Yeah, people were upset and calling Wolfenstein a series where you fucking kill Nazis and that's all you do. People were upset about that, which is hilarious. God. Nazis love Nazis. Yeah, but, like, do they know they're the bad guys, do you think? They probably do, right? And, like, I think some people just some people like being the bad guys. I don't know. I really don't know. I meant us paying attention to rich people, the entertainment world, instead of giving attention to a serious cause that needs it. Yeah, but that's not what I'm talking about. Does that always happen? Yes, 100% of the time. It's kind of unavoidable. But I'm specifically talking about it like being an orchestrated strike. People were complaining that Wolfenstein 2 was too political when it's fucking Nazis. Yeah, that's so funny. It's so funny. Wolfenstein is the whole MO. Honestly, the safest thing you could do in any Western media was kill Nazis. It's a no-brainer. Kill Hitler. God, I love the way they represent Hitler in that second game. It's got to be, that has to have been such a difficult choice to make for how you specifically kill Hitler in that game, or like how Hitler is represented. Oh, the way they represent him in that game. If you haven't seen it, let me pull up a YouTube video in the new Colossus. It's so fucking good. He's just such a weedy little fuck. And I think, like, I think you can, I don't remember. I know that I didn't get an achievement that was related to whatever you could do with Hitler in the game. Like you could step on him or something. Here we go. Display. I can hear Rahul downstairs listening to Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar. I love these Wolfenstein games. These two specifically. I think are so good. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. Dum, 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 dum. Probably a minor. Put my webcam back up. Okay, let's just watch this. Oh, hang on. Bum, 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 bum. By the way, everybody, for Play Watch Listen this week, which now has its own channel, we had Tim Kaine, one of the creators of the original Fallout, on to talk about Fallout. That was way too loud. Scared the shit out of me. Maybe like that. That seems good. I love BJ Blazkowicz, dude. From Mesquite, Texas. That's his goddamn name. Echoey? You can't hear? Wait, you guys can't hear that at all? It's quiet with an echo. The echo is just because it's coming through my microphone. Volume's low. Okay, how about now? Oh, I see the problem. That's why the thing Ethan told me to do won't work. Okay, I have to change when he suggested something to me yesterday, and I was like, that'll totally work, and now it has not worked. And he was like, can't you just put your screen volume up to 100 and then control the system volume? But if I turn the system volume down in OBS, it's really, really low for you guys. So I need to have the screen volume low, the system volume high. Not that any of you care, but whatever. I do that like there. And then this has to be quite high. And then we do this. This should fix it.
Professional actor, traveling to Venus to audition
Echo
for
gone?
the part of William Joseph Blazkowicz. Now,
Got
you
it?
are summoned by personal invitation, so
There might still be a
security
little
should be
bit of an
minimal.
echo, but
Break a leg.
yeah, okay. Stupid Ethan.
Mr. Redfield? Mr. Hughes Redfield?
This seems really
Yeah, that's me.
I'm Helena, the director of this film.
It's too loud.
Apologies for the long journey, but my producer
there
favors a
looks right
safe
to me?
location and
About
has an
there?
affinity for dramatic settings. Come.
Huh?
Oh, my luggage.
Someone will bring it for you. Come.
Beautiful. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. This scene is so fucking good.
Welcome to the audition, Mr. Redfield.
He's auditioning to play an actor in a play that the Nazis are putting together.
This audition, so be sure to memorize your lines before the producer gets here.
Wolfenstein
He
3
has a
wasn't that
volatile
good.
disposition, so
If you even call it
be
Wolfenstein 3,
careful what you say
I did not like
and
that game at all.
do in his presence. Mr. Redfield, I can't stress enough how important it is you learn these lines by heart. Your script is on
This
the
is the
chair.
Switch version.
I will be
It
with
says
you
this is
shortly.
1080,
Can't blow
60
my cover.
FPS.
Better keep a low profile. Leave the pretend acting for those so inclined.
Oh yeah, and he has his lines written on his hand as well. How far along in the game is this? It's like 3/4 of the way through, if I remember correctly.
Remember this shit. I gotta write this down.
Yeah, he writes it on his hand and you have to answer the questions and shit. Oh, love this game.
Yeah, no, it's a little weird though, no? Why Venus? What's wrong with LA?
Producer gotta be a real big cheese. Muhammad must go to the mountain type deal.
Yeah. Any stage
They're
experience?
so good. The first two are
What's
so
your
good.
name?
I really don't think the third one
Roland,
counts.
was it?
This is a new Colossus, which is the second one.
Ronald.
Nah. I used to do broadcasts when I was younger. Nowadays, it's all pictures.
Doom is better. Doom is also very good. I think Doom 93 is my favorite game.
The theater.
Very different though.
I'm not sure I even want this role. It's not like real acting unless you're on a stage in front of a live audience. You know what I mean.
Sure thing, Chief.
Unbelievable.
I just want to get to the Hitler part. You know what I mean? Okay, here we go.
Places, quickly!
It's so good.
Heil Hitler!
Look at him. They made him so gross.
Helene, kommen Sie. Haben Sie das gesehen? Fremde in meinem Büro. Würden Sie mir bitte verraten, wer in Gottes Namen das ist?
Ja, es sind Schauspieler, mein Führer.
Schauspieler.
Diese Männer wollen für die Rolle von William
Oh, I
Joseph
forgot
Blaskowitz
he's auditioning to
vorsprechen.
play himself.
Es sind Schauspieler. Es tut mir leid, meine Nachricht hat sie wohl nicht erreicht.
BJ is literally auditioning to play BJ.
Und bessere konnten wir nicht finden. Keiner von denen sieht dem Kerl auch nur ähnlich.
Ja, das kriegen wir.
Gott nochmal.
Das kriegen wir mit Schminke hin, mein Führer.
Ugh.
Oh ja, Schminke. Gut. Das ist magisch.
They make him such a little fucking weasel.
Magisch. Schauspieler. Geschult in der Kunst der Verkleidung und Täuschung. Ja, ähnlich wie Spione. Vielleicht ist ja ein Spion unter ihnen. Sie haben sicher alle mein Buch gelesen.
Oh, yes, mein Führer. And my children have read it too.
I loved it, Mr. Hitler. Super good.
Mr. Hitler, wenn Sie mich ansprechen, sagen Sie mein Führer. Verstanden? Haben Sie keine
One of the actors is
Respekt vor
Ronald
Autorität?
Reagan?
Ihr
Oh my God, that
Worte
didn't
gewähren
occur to me.
Einblick in einen höchst verräterischen Geist.
I am so sorry, mein Führer.
Sind Sie denn ein Idiot?
That's so smart.
Sind Sie ein verkleideter Schurke, ein Jude?
Holy shit.
Ein verräterischer
I mean, I might have
Jude?
known that at the time. I didn't play
No,
play this game
Führer.
like 7 years ago, whatever, 6
I'm
years ago.
from Arizona.
That's Ron. Oh my God. That's so fucking funny. Anyway, they make him like a shitty, psycho, disgusting gremlin weasel, you know? And I love that. He's still kind of scary in the scene, but he's not scary. He's not more scary than he is pathetic.
Konspirierende, lügende, niederträchtige Juden. Ich erkenne sie schon von weitem.
And this. And then this.
Wenn Sie mein Buch gelesen haben, wissen Sie, dass ich die Wahrheit.
So they made him as he was. I mean, true.
Wahrheit
Yeah.
auf seiner Seite hat, der gewinnt immer. So konnte ich die Welt von den Juden reinigen und so konnte ich die minderwertigen Kommunisten in die Knie zwingen. Oh, so ging das.
And then when you get to
Ich
like
habe ihn vernichtet.
deal with him, it's so satisfying. Not that it isn't anyway.
Blaskowitz.
Very good games, is all I'm saying. Very fucking good games. And then, hang on, I think it's... This is where you, like, have to say your lines, but they're half smudged. So I think there's something where he's, like, in this little... You step on him or whatever? I don't remember exactly what you do.
Mr.
Mischlingskind
You can, like, kick his head or some shit?
eines Verkäufers und einer polnischen Jüdin. Die Mutter wurde vom Vater ausgeliefert, starb in einem Vernichtungslager in
Whatever. Great fucking game. Great fucking game. Do we ever see Mecha Hitler in these reboot games? Yes. Mecha Hitler... Oh, no, sorry. It's Engel. I'm pretty sure at the end of the New Order, you fight Mecha Engel. Great games. That said, I haven't played them since they came out, so I don't know how hard they hold up or anything, but I do really love both of them. You're right, it is Death's Head. Yeah. It's Mecha Death's Head. Engel is more in this game. I mean, she's in both, but I've never played a lot of Sniper Elite. Like I played a little, but not a ton. They basically tried to represent various facets that made up Hitler, but in a single scene. Yeah. Yeah, like I know a lot of it's accurate, which is the best part. Disgusting little gremlin piece of shit. Just a great way to do it. A great way to do it. Exploited Hitler's balls in it. That's why we love our Sniper Elite. You can explode people's balls, which we love to see. Ugh. You can actually mess up and die during this for the trophy. Yeah, that's the achievement I did not get, is that I didn't die in this scene, or whatever it was. I know there's an achievement in this scene that I don't have. Alrighty, on that note, we've really covered everything today. Really shitty day in gaming. Real sad across the board. I'm going to play an hour of Fallout, finally. We're finally doing it. Which I've been meaning to do for like weeks at this point. It's not like us. It's not like us. They not like us. We're doing Fallout 4. To be watching on YouTube, I'm going to stop the stream and restart it so that I can break the VODs into 2. So I will end the YouTube stream. And I'm probably gonna get myself a drink. And then we'll come back and we'll play Fallout. Ooh. Don't know how that person made it through. Why not play Fallout 4 on the PS5 version? Yeah, I'm playing on Xbox because the PS5 in here is not hooked up. That's literally all it is. Okay, let me end the YouTube stream. I'll be right back, YouTube stream people. I just have to reset it up. Give me a second. So we can play Fallout. And